Welcome back to the deep dive. It is January 22nd, 2026. The holidays are behind us, and if you're listening to this, you're probably asking yourself one big question for the year ahead.
Is this the year?
Is this the year I finally make the move?
Yeah.
We are, of course, talking about the super yacht market. The numbers are out, and we have the definitive briefing for you.
It really is the perfect time to have this conversation. We've just gotten our hands on the 2026 Global Order Book from Boat International, which is, it's basically the industry census.
It tracks every single yacht over 24 meters being built, right?
Every single one. And the data this year, it tells a really incredible story.
Yeah, these reports can sometimes feel a bit dry, just stats and figures. But this one feels different. The headline number is just massive, 1,093 super yachts.
1,093. Just think about that. Over 1,000 private floating sanctuaries are in the pipeline right now.
But it's not just the number, is it? It's the mood behind it.
Exactly. If you just look at the raw data, you might see that 1,093 is technically a small dip. Maybe 3.9% down from the absolute peak last year.
And a pessimist would run with that. They'd say the market is contracting.
They would. But for our clients, for the person who is actually looking to commission a vessel, we need to reframe this completely. This is not a recession. It's a renaissance.
A renaissance of the sea. I love that. So let's unpack it. Why is a slight dip actually a green light for a buyer?
Because it's a return to sanity. And believe me, in this industry, sanity is the ultimate luxury. Think back to the pre-pandemic years. Production was hovering around 750, maybe 820 yachts.
Right.
So when the frenzy happened, we're still at nearly 1,100 yachts. What's disappearing isn't the demand, it's the panic buying, the chaos, the broken supply chains. That's what's evaporating.
So the froth is gone.
Precisely. What's left is a market that's robust, stable, and frankly, a lot clearer. The sources are calling it healthy market normalization.
Which is music to the ears of anyone who wants a boat delivered on time and on budget. It feels less like a gamble now.
It brings clarity back.
Yeah.
And there's one metric in here that I think really proves this is a new golden age for the buyer.
Oh, okay.
While the number of hulls is down just a tiny bit, the average volume, the gross tonnage, or GT, is actually up.
And this is where it gets really interesting, isn't it? The average volume has jumped 8.7% to 551 gross tons.
And that number, 551 GT, tells a very specific story. Length is vanity, but volume is sanity. Volume is the space you actually live in.
The headroom, the width of the cabins.
Exactly. But there's a very sophisticated game being played just under that average. It's what we call the holy grail of yacht building.
The 499 GT target, I saw that all over the report. Of the yachts under 500 GT, 156 of them are aiming for exactly 499, not 480. 499. Why?
Because the moment you hit 500 GT, your world changes. You trigger this massive layer of international maritime regulation.
Trawless and all that.
All of it. It changes your crew requirements, your fire safety systems. It dramatically increases the operational cost and the complexity of the vessel.
So by staying at 499, you're getting the absolute maximum luxury while minimizing the headache.
You've got it. It shows a really educated buyer. They're not just saying build it bigger, they're saying build it smarter. Efficiency is the new status symbol.
I love that. It's smart ownership.
Speaking of smart, another trend that jumped out at me, which I think is a game changer for anyone listening, is the rise of speculation projects.
Right. 41.8% of the order book is now started on spec.
Now, in real estate, speculation can be a bit of a dirty word.
It can be. But in yachting, in 2026, it is a service.
Because usually custom means wait 5 years.
Exactly. A few years ago, you were looking at a 2030 delivery if you started today. But the shipyards are so confident in this renaissance, they're funding the early stages themselves.
So the hull is already built when you come along. The hull is built, the engines are on order, you can step in right now, customize the entire interior to your taste, and take delivery in maybe 18 months instead of 4 or 5 years.
So you get that semi-custom experience with, well, almost instant gratification.
Quicker gratification, let's say. It just removes that biggest barrier to entry, which has always been the time.
That's huge. Okay, so the market's healthy, boats are getting smarter, timelines are shrinking, but where are they being built? Because one country is just dominating this whole conversation.
Really?
It's absolute hegemony. We're talking about 54% of global production volume. Half of every single super yacht being built on Earth right now is coming out of Italy.
The scale is just staggering.
Yes.
Over 73,000 feet of yachts in production. And within that, there's one name at the top.
Azimut Benetti. For the 26th year in a row, they are the world's top builder, 163 projects on their books.
163, that's almost industrial scale luxury.
Mm.
It is. And for you, the listener, that means it's a safe harbor. When you buy from a yard with that history, you're buying consistency. You're protecting your resale value. It's the blue chip stock of the ocean.
But they aren't the only ones. San Lorenzo is right there in second place. And then we have to talk about Turkey.
Yes, Turkey has really solidified its spot as the #2 builder nation. But the story there has changed completely. 10 years ago, Turkey was where you went for a bargain.
And sometimes the quality reflected that.
Sometimes, yes. But that narrative is dead.
Hmm?
Today, you have yards like Bilgen turning out these high-tech, eco-conscious, fully custom builds that rival anything coming out of Northern Europe.
So it's a value for quality play now, not just a cheap play.
Absolutely. And speaking of Northern Europe, we can't ignore the Netherlands. Their strategy is totally different. Right. Their approach is quality over quantity. They are building fewer boats, but my God, they are massive. The average length of a Dutch project is 216 feet.
Wow. So if Italy is building the beautiful sports cars of the sea,
The Netherlands is building the wandering estates. They're these complex engineering marvels. If you want to push the absolute boundaries of what's possible, you often end up in Holland.
so we have style from the Italians, custom value from the Turks, and pure engineering from the Dutch. But let's pivot to what's inside these boats, because the definition of luxury itself seems to be changing.
It really is. The buzzword for 2026 is quiet luxury. And I don't mean that in the fashion sense. I mean literal quiet.
This brings us to the tech. We're seeing a real push toward hybrid propulsion. 45 hybrid projects in the book, plus a few fully electric ones. Now, is this just greenwashing? Is it just for bragging rights?
That might have been the case 5 years ago, but today this isn't about being green. It's about the experience. It's about silence.
Explain that. How does a hybrid engine change things for the guests?
Okay, imagine you're anchored in some pristine bay in the Exumas. Traditionally, to keep the lights on and the AC running, you've got a diesel generator just humming away in the background. It's this constant drone.
Right, you're in paradise, but it sounds like you're parked next to a truck stop.
Exactly. With these new hybrid systems, you can run the entire hotel load off of battery power. You can sit on deck for hours in absolute silence. All you hear is the water lapping against the hull.
That is a tangible upgrade. That's luxury you can actually feel, or I guess not hear.
That's why it's selling. It creates this seamless, serene experience.
We're also seeing the rise of multi-hulls, right? Catamarans are up again.
Yeah, driven by Sunreef, who are now #6 globally. And this changes the whole architecture of the boat. A catamaran gives you this incredible beam, this width. It feels less like a ship and more like a luxury apartment on the water.
Which for families has to be a huge deal. The stability, the space.
It's unbeatable for that. Which brings us to the why. Why are people buying these boats in 2026? It seems like the motivation itself is shifting.
The report calls it intentional ownership.
It does. We're moving away from, asset accumulation, just buying a boat to have one, and moving toward purposeful adventure.
I loved that quote, buyers want authentic travel experiences.
The market is steady and calm. The panic is gone. People are buying because they actually want to go places.
And the data supports it. There are 101 expedition or explorer yachts in the order book.
It's a huge number. These are boats designed to go further, to Norway, Antarctica, the Galapagos. Owners don't just want to sit in a marina in the Med anymore. They want to show their children the world.
It's that private floating sanctuary idea. In a world this chaotic, the yacht is the only place you can truly disconnect. We're even seeing 69 sailing yacht projects, which really speaks to that desire to slow down.
It's about creating a perimeter of peace for your family. And an Explorer yacht lets you take that peace anywhere on the globe.
Okay, so we have the desire, the tech, the market stability. But let's talk about the financial side. Why is 2026 the financial sweet spot to make this move?
Look, this is the part that usually gets buried, but it might be the most important factor for our listeners right now. There's a convergence of financial incentives we just haven't seen in a decade.
It starts with some legislation, right? The One Big Beautiful Bill Act.
A colorful name for a very serious piece of legislation. It restored 100% bonus depreciation for commercial service vessels.
Okay, break that down. What does commercial service mean here?
It means if you buy a new yacht and place it into a legitimate charter program, even part-time, it's treated as a business asset.
And the 100% bonus depreciation.
Means you can deduct the entire purchase price against your business income.
The whole fall.
The entire purchase price.
In year one.
In year one. For a high-income earner, that is a massive tax shield. It fundamentally changes the economics of the purchase. It's the nudge that's pushing a lot of buyers over the line.
But there's another layer to this, and that's the cost of borrowing.
Exactly. We've been in this high-interest world. But if you look at the forecasts from Goldman Sachs, from the Fed, they're all pointing to a cycle of rate cuts through the first half of this year.
So play that out for me. What's the combination?
It means that money is becoming cheaper to borrow at the exact same moment that these depreciation benefits are at their absolute maximum.
It really is a perfect storm in a good way.
It is. You have yards producing better quality. You have tech making the experience more enjoyable. You have a shift toward meaningful travel. And the financial landscape is basically rolling out the red carpet.
So 2026 isn't just a good year. It feels like the moment where the technology has finally caught up to the dream and the financials actually make sense.
I think that's exactly right. The friction is gone.
Before we wrap, there's one last thought I want to leave everyone with. A statistic we kind of glossed over, but I think it hints at where the very top of this market is heading.
You're thinking about the big ones.
The really big ones. We're entering the era of the gig yacht. Right now, there are 26 vessels over 100 meters. That's 328 feet being built. That includes the 427-foot Project Vela.
It raises a pretty provocative question, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If the average yacht is getting bigger, smarter, and more capable, the question really isn't, should I buy anymore? It's becoming, how far do I want to go?
An exciting time to be on the water. It really sounds like the stars have finally aligned.
They certainly have.
Thank you for diving deep with us today. We will leave you to consult your charts, your tax advisors, and your dreams.
May you safe travels.
For additional information, please feel free to email me at ts@mintedyachts.com. Also, feel free to text me at 404-805-9819.